Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rod's Tabletop Hoops. I have just completed a gameplay between the North Carolina Tar Heels of 1982 and the St. John's Redmen of 1985, and I want to tell you I had a really good time doing it. Part of the reason for that was the introduction of using two sets of dice, a pair of D6s and a pair of D10s, to my gameplay versus just going through the action deck and the fast break deck of cards, which got arduous and just was flat out confusing for the first couple games. But I needed that just as a training ground to start learning bank shot basketball. So I encourage people to utilize the dice. It just seems to make the game flow so much better and faster. And I do have a gameplay here, but unfortunately, my microphone died prior to me starting this video of the gameplay. And what happened was I plugged it in, it goes right into my phone, and what I thought was recording was not recording. So I kind of dubbed over the final 5 minutes of gameplay, so it's not going to be as true to the action as possible. I threw a couple dice roll sounds in there. It could be kind of funny to actually watch. But anyway, we will get to that soon. I just want to let you know that bank shot basketball has been a real fun adventure for me here. It's game 3 turned out to be the best of all 3 games, so you'll just have to watch and see how that game plays out. And before I get into that game, I wanted to share some news from around the world of tabletop sports. The headline on that news would be that Hoops Tabletop Pro Basketball has released the 2022-2023 season of cards, both in print form for $32.97, and it's basically the Nuggets winning the championship. They also have a downloadable PDF version, which is much more reasonable in price, $19.97, but you don't get those nice, shiny, pre-cut cards. The $32.97 also, you have to add some shipping into that as well. But what a great season that we just completed. I don't follow the NBA as much as I used to, but even I like looking at the sample cards that Mark Vasilio put up. Here's Jason Tatum. You can tell offensively he's going to take a lot of threes. Nikola Jokic, look at those assists on the inside column, 8, 9, and 10. On the outside column, even 8 and 10. He shoots threes. He does everything reasonably well. There you got LeBron James, who's played forever. His team hasn't played super well, but he continues to perform at a high level. Look at those numbers. Great card for LeBron. And of course, the ageless, although slightly injury prone, Kevin Durant, another super shooter, and even a pretty good defender with a block on 7 on that defensive card. Stephen Curry, of course, Mr. Three-Pointer himself, Mr. Free Throw, Mr. Assist. That guy can play really well. It looks like from 4 to 10, he'll be shooting a bomb from outside. So that's Hoops Tabletop Basketball. Moving on, I was just going to take a quick look back at Basketball Digest. You can see these issues are all from the late 70s, 1977 to 79. I picked out my favorite, and it's a Bob McAdoo issue. And little did they know, in March of 79, McAdoo would be traded. It was February 12th, 1979, when the Knicks received Cartwright, Demick, Sylvester Williams, and stuff for Bob McAdoo. But this article is so funny because it talks about him being the greatest shooter of all time. And basically, when this article came out, his career had peaked and went straight downhill when he got traded to the Celtics. But either way, I love the quote where it says, "You think anybody's better than me? Ain't nobody better. You think they know that? Ain't nobody know that." That's just Bob McAdoo just talking off the cuff. And of course, these issues are chock full of great photography, even though it's black and white and old. But this neat little digest was just great for basketball fans as a kid. It goes on to compare Bob McAdoo to the great players of all time. And they basically say his .507 field goal percentage makes him such a great shooter. Greater than Wilt because he actually shot from outside, and Wilt was mostly a dunk, finger roll type guy, not to take anything away from the great Wilt Chamberlain. It just goes on to compare him with a lot of contemporaries in the league, Elgin Baylor and stuff who shot in the low 40s, and he's shooting over 50%, which just, in the simplest terms, makes him a better percentage shooter, but maybe not a greater shooter. Anyway, moving on, we're going to go to this game where I had to dub the audio. And at the half, the St. John's was up by 4, 38-34, and that is about to change. James Worthy's leading the way with 15 points and 11 boards for North Carolina, while Willie Glass is uncharacteristically scoring 12 points in 20 minutes to lead St. John's. All right, we have 5 minutes of dubbed gameplay here. Bill Wennington has just returned for the St. John's Redmen. He has 4 fouls, will be playing safe. North Carolina appears to have the ball here in Matt Doherty's hands. There was a 90, 63, and there was a missed shot. Okay, ball's going to James Worthy. And Worthy, the roll is a 75. And he's up against Wennington, so he uses his offensive column. And it looks like we've got ourselves a foul while shooting, which is an instant basket because Wennington is playing safe. That really ended up hurting St. John's a little bit in this game because they were in foul trouble, a lot of it. Back to St. John's, Walter Berry with the ball. And what do we have? A 54. And a 54 is a turnover for Berry. Is that a steal? An 8. It does fall into the range for Worthy. It looks like Worthy's going to get a steal on that play. So we're going to try and run a fast break off that steal. And let's see what happens here. The fast break result is a 2-point basket only if our fast break rating is good enough, and it's not. We both have D or worse. C to E, it's held up. So it's just a normal play for North Carolina. 59 all. This is a big possession for the North Carolina Tar Heels. Looks like we're going G2, and that's Michael Jordan, also in foul trouble, as I recall. And Jordan has the ball. His defender's card is Mullen. Let's see what happens here. We got a 27 on Mullen's defense. That's a forced missed shot on Michael Jordan. Who's grabbing that rebound? Oh, rebound's a loose ball foul. That's kind of disappointing. And it's going to be on the defensive F1, which I believe is Walter Berry in this case. So another foul for St. John's. Interestingly enough, there wasn't a lot of penalty situations where it was 1-1 or anything. We always seem to get up to 16 fouls. Didn't get into the penalty in this game. Quite a tight one throughout the entire second half and for most of the first half. Anyway, we get the ball to the F2. It's Matt Doherty again. That guy took a lot of shots in this game, far more than a 9.3 point per game scorer. And the roll is going to be looks like we got ourselves a 92 on the defender's card, Ron Stewart. That looks like a foul while shooting, if I am correct on that. And what? Looks like it's a basket by Doherty based on the roll. Or maybe not. It's going to go to Chris Mullen. It was just a basket for Doherty. Chris Mullen with the ball versus his defender. And his defender is playing safe. So it's going to be on Chris Mullen's card, a 35. Looks like an instant basket based on the playing safe Michael Jordan, who also has 4 fouls. Back over to North Carolina with a tie game at 61. James Worthy, actually Matt Doherty, one more time. And Doherty gets a 30. And a 30 on Matt is a miss. Miss by Matt. Rebound high on the home team. And I believe Walter Berry grabs that rebound. Just slightly higher than Bill Wennington. So with the tie game, less than 5 minutes to go, St. John's looking to take the lead one more time. Look like, was that a fast break chance? I don't know. Oh no, that was the question mark reading. We didn't want to go with an injury. That's what it was. And here comes St. John's. B1 or G1. So it looks like it's going to go to Mark Action Jackson. And that's a 77 on Jackson. And that's a beautiful assist by Mark Jackson. And who did the points go to on that assist to give St. John's the lead? B2. That's Chris Mullen. Chris had a terrible start. He was about 2 for 10. And because of the foul difficulties, he scored a lot of easy buckets on both assists and the defensive giving up a lot of points on the playing safe option. Back to North Carolina. Ball goes to Jammin' James Worthy. And you roll an 84. 84 on James. That's foul while shooting, but at first it's a defensive center once again. And Bill Wennington, playing safe, gives up a basket. So your field goal percentage is naturally going to go up when you get a lot of people playing safe and fouls are turned into baskets. So now we're tied at 63. Ball back into St. John's hands. Looks like it's the B1 or the F1, which is Barry. And that's a 92 on the defensive card, and that's a rejection by James Worthy. And so a rebound on that play is going to go to the defensive Matt. Oh, I think I had Ron Stewart there, but actually I believe it was Matt Doherty. I think I goofed that up. Realized it right away and go, oh, no, that wasn't. That was a block by Worthy. It should be going to Matt Doherty and the North Carolina Tar Heels. Happens when you're playing on video. Ball goes to the G1. That's Jimmy Black. And Jimmy gets himself a 0-0, which is an automatic assist. A big assist for Black, giving North Carolina the 2-point lead. Who's going to get credit for that shot? The scorer will be Big Sam Perkins. And Perkins gives Carolina the lead. Ball goes to the F1. F1's going to be Walter Berry, who did not get a lot of shots in this game. And a 1-4. And that's just going to be a missed shot, it looks like, for, defender, 14. And that's going to be a turnover. Ball ends up in Michael Jordan's hands. Jordan with the ball. 20. Looks like a basket for MJ, if I'm reading that correctly. Michael Jordan has just given North Carolina a 4-point lead. We're about down to a minute left. I think I took everyone off playing safe at this point. B2 versus defensive center. Chris Mullen. Sam Perkins. We'll see what happens. And that's going to be... I think I actually used Chris Mullen's card because I had Perkins playing safe. After giving up a hoop, I think it was defensive center. So it looks like it's going to be a basket for Mullen, I'm pretty sure, on this play. Had to pause it, check the rules, make sure I'm doing things right. Two more for St. John's. $67-65. Ball goes to Matt Doherty again. What's Matt going to do with it? All fouls while shooting. Our 2-point basket was foul. We'll see if we get that. I don't think we do. 84 on Doherty. That's a basket. That's a basket with an assist. So a big hoop by Matt Doherty gives North Carolina the 4-point lead with just a few cards remaining. And so St. John's comes back. G2 versus Jordan. I think I took him off playing safe at this point. And I roll a 37. The defender, Jordan's defense says turnover, and it's a steal because it's between the range of 3 and 7. So a humongous steal by Michael Jordan, leading to a fast break opportunity. And then let's see if North Carolina can take advantage. Oh, it's held up. Well, you kind of want to slow the clock down when you're leading by 4 with less than a minute left. So the ball's going to go to Matt Doherty. Defender is Ron Stewart. And a 75 on Stewart. That looks like a missed shot by Doherty, actually. Oh, DRE passes. Did I get that right? Oh, I don't know if I was probably supposed to pass that one. Offense rebound G2. That is going to be Michael Jordan, so they keep the ball alive. Always got to check for those passing with the D characteristic. Ball goes back to Worthy. Worthy's defender is Walter Berry. And that's a 40 on Berry. That looks like a missed shot. But it's a made shot. 40. I don't know what I was looking at there. But anyway, it's 71-65. And here comes St. John's. Wrapping it up here. Forward F1 versus defensive center. Perkins is defending. And then finally, James Worthy at the buzzer with a 26 on the defender's card. Looks like a missed shot by Worthy, and that's the ball game. North Carolina ends up pulling this out in the final minutes, 71-65. It was a great game. I apologize for the issues with the audio, but this is the best I have. Final score, North Carolina, 71, St. John's of 1985, 65. This was a really good game. I really enjoyed playing with the dice activated version versus just fast break deck cards. As you can tell, the fast break deck rarely gets used if you are using dice. So, and that was just fine with me. I'm used to rolling dice with my games. So this really made a big difference. I really enjoyed the outcome of this game. These two teams were very evenly matched in many ways, a lot of veteran players. So a heck of a game, a heck of a balanced game versus the LMU Gonzaga game, which scored out of control and had way too many shots. My first game was maybe even a little conservative between Michigan State and UCLA. Too few shots, but still a good game there. But it seems like the game's improved quite a bit when you add in the factor for using dice. Dice made all the difference in the world, and this one upped the fun factor quite a bit. So anyway, we'll be wrapping up this game with some stats very soon. You can tell North Carolina took advantage of some foul trouble. They outscored them 37-27 to win the game 71-65 over St. John's. James Worthy led the way with 23 points on 11 for 20. He had 7 rebounds despite 5 turnovers. Jimmy Black had 9 assists. Michael Jordan, a freshman, had a technical, blew his top, played all 40 minutes, 12 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. A solid game for the youngster with 3 steals, including some in the clutch. Chris Mullen led the way for St. John's with 23 points despite starting about 2 for 10. He had 7 turnovers as well and did not play the greatest of defense. With the Glass had 12 to help out St. John's. Well, thanks for watching. This has been a great presentation of Bank Shot Basketball. Have a good day.